feeling of being stuck, of working harder but getting nowhere. It's a sensation that's all too familiar for many of us. We're told that if we just work harder, if we just put in more hours, we'll eventually get ahead. But the truth is, the system is designed to keep us in a state of comfortable discontent, never quite satisfied, but never quite desperate enough to make a change. And it all starts with our salary, a carefully calibrated containment ceiling that prevents us from accumulating enough capital to escape the system. We're led to believe that salary bands are based on merit, that they're a fair reflection of our skills and experience. But the reality is, these bands are carefully designed to keep us in a state of containment, to prevent us from accumulating too much wealth or independence. It's a subtle form of control, one that's masked by the illusion of fairness and equality. The mechanism of salary bands is complex, but it's rooted in a simple principle: to keep employees in a state of dependence. By limiting our earning potential, companies can control our lives, dictating how we spend our time and how we allocate our resources. It's a form of economic manipulation, one that's designed to keep us in a state of subservience. Performance reviews and promotions are often used to further entrench containment, rather than encourage genuine growth or independence. We're told that we need to meet certain targets, achieve specific goals, in order to advance in our careers. But the truth is, these targets are often arbitrary, designed to keep us in a state of perpetual busyness, rather than allowing us to focus on what truly matters. The widening gap between the sovereign and the sleeping, accelerated by technological shifts, makes recognizing and overcoming containment more urgent than ever. As the system continues to evolve, it's becoming increasingly clear that the old rules no longer apply. We need to adapt, to find new ways of navigating the landscape, if we're to have any hope of escaping the containment trap. Calculating a personal independence threshold can help individuals understand their current level of containment and identify steps towards autonomy. It's a simple yet powerful tool, one that can help us break free from the constraints of the system and forge our own path. But it requires a deep understanding of the system's mechanisms and a willingness to challenge the status quo. Negotiation and exit strategies can be leveraged to overcome containment, but they require a deep understanding of the system's mechanisms and one's own value proposition. It's a delicate balancing act, one that requires careful planning and execution. But the rewards are well worth the risk as we break free from the constraints of the system and forge our own path. The first step towards overcoming containment is to recognize the mechanisms that are holding us back. It's a process of awareness, of understanding the subtle ways in which the system exerts control over our lives. Once we have this awareness, we can begin to take action, to forge our own path, and break free from the constraints of the system. The journey ahead won't be easy, but it's one that's necessary if we're to have any hope of escaping the containment trap. We'll need to be brave to challenge the status quo and to forge our own path. But the rewards will be well worth the risk as we break free from the constraints of the system and forge a new future, one that's truly our own. And that's where our journey begins, with the recognition of the containment trap and the determination to overcome it. As we've seen, the mechanism of salary bands is designed to keep us contained, to prevent us from accumulating enough capital to escape the system. But what does this mean for our daily lives? How does it affect our ability to plan for the future, to make choices about our careers and our finances? The answer lies in the concept of a personal independence threshold. This is the point at which we have enough resources, enough autonomy, to make decisions that are truly our own, without being beholden to the constraints of the system. Calculating this threshold is crucial, as it allows us to understand our current level of containment and identify the steps we need to take to achieve autonomy. The widening gap between the sovereign and the sleeping, accelerated by technological shifts, makes recognizing and overcoming containment more urgent than ever. As we've discussed, the system is designed to keep us in a state of perpetual dependence, to prevent us from accumulating enough capital to escape. But what happens when we do finally break free? What does the other side look like? The answer lies in the concept of leverage points. These are the areas where we have the most power to negotiate, to push back against the system and assert our autonomy. Identifying these points is crucial, as it allows us to create a plan for escape, to map out the steps we need to take to achieve freedom. Negotiation and exit strategies can be leveraged to overcome containment, but they require a deep understanding of the system's mechanisms and our own value proposition. This means being able to articulate our skills, our strengths, and our worth in a way that is clear and compelling. It means being able to identify the areas where we have the most power and to use that power to negotiate for what we want. This is not always easy, as it requires a level of self-awareness and confidence that can be difficult to develop. But it is essential, as it allows us to create a sense of sovereignty, of autonomy, that is essential for true freedom. The first step towards overcoming containment is to recognize the mechanisms that keep us trapped. This means being aware of the ways in which the system is designed to keep us in a state of dependence, and being willing to challenge those mechanisms. It means being brave, being willing to take risks, and being open to new possibilities. This is not always easy, as it requires a level of courage and resilience that can be difficult to develop. But it is essential, as it allows us to create a sense of agency, of autonomy, that is essential for true freedom. As we move forward, it's essential to keep in mind that the journey ahead won't be easy. There will be obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. But it's also important to remember that the rewards will be well worth the risk. Breaking free from the constraints of the system, achieving autonomy and sovereignty, is a fundamental human right. It's a matter of recognizing our own value, our own worth, and being willing to assert it. This is not a selfish or narcissistic pursuit, but rather a necessary step towards creating a more just and equitable society. The architecture to break free from containment is not a simple one. It requires a deep understanding of the system, of our own value proposition, and of the mechanisms that keep us trapped. But it's also important to remember that this is a journey, not a destination. It's a process of growth, of learning, and of development. It's a matter of being willing to take risks, to challenge the status quo, and to forge our own path. This is not always easy, but it's essential for creating a sense of autonomy, of sovereignty, that is essential for true freedom. As we conclude this journey, it's essential to remember that the choice is ours. We can continue to live in a state of containment, or we can choose to break free. We can choose to recognize our own value, our own worth, and to assert it. This is not a selfish or narcissistic pursuit, but rather a necessary step towards creating a more just and equitable society. The invitation is open. The door is ajar. Will you take the first step and begin the journey towards autonomy and sovereignty? The choice is yours, and the time to act is now.